everyone, this is Pick for Life, and no, I'm not dead. I've just been super busy with the holidays and new job and all this other stuff that's been going on. So, sorry I've been on hiatus, but I am back. But in today's review, we'll be taking a look at the newly released Iron Factory Racing Brothers. That's IF EX-26, Blazedash, Sideswipe, and Boltrunner, their Sunstreaker. I'd like to call these guys the Lambros because they're Lamborghinis and bros. Anyway, let's get started with the packaging. Pretty standard packaging for Iron Factory. Nice window here. You get some of the images of robot mode, ages 15 plus, just in case you want to get this for your kid. Iron Factory on top. On one side, you get the red Sideswipe or Blazedash, and on the right side, you get the yellow Boltrunner. Some warnings on the back, on the bottom, and on the back, you get kind of some more images of their various modes and some of their accessories. They actually come with a lot more than what you're seeing back here, but we'll get into that. Opening up the packaging like a normal box, we get this clamshell. Again, pretty standard with Iron Factory, and you get some instructions here. The instructions are pretty good. There are a couple things that I would do differently and that I'm going to show differently when I do their official video manual. So I am going to be doing their official manuals, at least going forward as far as I know, for these guys and the cone heads. But you get two sides, one for each. And they don't show off all the accessories either, I don't think. But in any case, here we go. You get to see Sideswipe with his pile drivers here. You get two of those, his blaster, and a single jetpack, which bumps me out. I was hoping that they would have one for each. You can use these for either of them, but you only get one, so bummer there. He has two shoulder cannons for some reason. I don't really know why. On the other side, Sunstreaker, he has an alternate head, his blaster, and two of his arm cannons. So really quickly, I wanted to show off some scale. Let's get these guys to the side while I bring in the Iron Factory Optimus. You can see just a bit taller than the rest. And then their Deadlock. So yeah. Let's go ahead and take a quick 360 on both of them. And you can see, like I said, they're not pure G1 styles. They're definitely different. I don't know if they're off of like War Within or any other comics. They do look quite different, but I'm not familiar with these specific designs. As you can see, Sunstreaker doesn't have the windshield for a chest or anything like that. But Sideswipe is fairly similar in terms of his makeup. He does still have the intakes on the back, but neither of them are pure Lamborghinis, and you'll see that once we actually get into transformation. Let's start off with Sunstreaker just so you can get an idea of all his accessories. Like I said, he does come with pile drivers. They're metallic painted, I think, or maybe they're actually in the plastic itself. I think they're painted, but they are specifically pegged, so how you use them is you just peg them in like guns. So if you want both his pile driver action, you can get that. For the cannons, they are specifically pegged, so they have peg holes here. I mean, I guess you could put it on the other side, but it's not really going to look right if you do it that way. So you kind of want to angle the, plug them in so that these rectangular tabs are pointing inwards. And they do have some articulation as well, so that they can hinge up a bit and obviously rotate on that peg hole. I've always done my Sideswipe with one on the left, but if you want to go on the right, whatever floats your boat. And then his hand cannon. Lastly, the jetpack. It plays dual purpose for both Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. These two pegs here will go into these ports in the back for Sideswipe, and for Sunstreaker, this round tab or peg up here will fold down. Keep that folded up for now, and you just give it a nice tight push. And these are actually on ball joints, so you can get some thruster action pointing in different directions, which is pretty cool. It holds on fairly well. which I'm glad. But again, I really wish they would have given us 2 of these, because if you're gonna have one guy, you know, surfing on some Decepticon jets, you would expect both to have them. I guess did technically only Sideswipe have the backpack? I'm not really sure. The jetpack? Now I'm trying to think about that. Oh, the gun does fold up, and it has a little rectangular peg that's gonna peg in here. I guess you can do it for storage. Oh no, you just fold it in so you can use the other peg. I don't know what this smaller peg does actually, now that I think about it. But you can store the weapons on the back if you'd like to do so. Same thing with the cannons, with that rectangular peg that we saw. If you want weapon storage in robot mode, you got it. Let's go into articulation really quickly. They both pretty much have the same articulation, but they are different molds. So Sideswipe has a ball jointed head that can go all the way around. He has shoulders that hinge at the base of the body, as well as a ball joint. But because of the way, so it's very oddly done. The ball joint is on a peg that comes out and angles up, so you can't get a perfectly straight. You're always coming at kind of an angle, which is kind of weird and kind of causes some interference. I don't like that design. I wish they could have done something else. He doesn't have that at all. So I don't know. I don't really like that design very much. He does have wheels here. He does have bicep swivel. Pretty nice elbow bend. No wrist swivel for him. He does have a waist articulation, but the backpack does get in the way. The waist is on like the backpack's on kind of like a double hinge, so you can get it out of the way. So you can go 360, but just be aware of that. He also has an oddly done midsection in the sense that you get some articulation because it's like double hinged in here, but it's not really that meaningful for robot mode. You can kind of fudge it and get some ab crunch, but it's really for transformation purposes. His legs or hips are ball jointed, thigh swivel, knee bend, about a little bit over 90 degrees. He actually has ankle tilts for a Legends class figure. That's pretty awesome. And yeah, it's actually double jointed, so that's really cool. And then he has some toe articulation. It goes up and down. So quite nice for a Legends class figure. The articulation is quite good. The shoulders are the only part that bothered me. Alright, so let's get into transformation really quickly with him. First thing you want to do is turn the head around like so. Get the backpack on that double hinge and just pull it up a bit. I like to go ahead and swivel or rotate the waist 180 at this point just to get it done. Straighten out the arms and just rotate the fist inward. On the chest, you're going to pull out on this midsection of the hood and rotate the, oh sorry, you actually want to do that double jointed back or spine. You want to have it in this kind of right angled orientation like that. Then you can go ahead and pull the hood open, get the hood up and around the head, and you can fold that back down. At this point, you can make use of those weirdly angled shoulder joints and these tabs up here. There we go. Have those in. Come on. There we go. And then they say you do the hood or the windshield and roof right now. You can do that now. You can do it later. It depends on when you want to kind of deal with the cleanup. Down here, you want to go ahead and rotate the ankles outwards. They're going to form the sides or the door area. Fold the toes in. Open up the shins like so. Then you can have both halves of the legs together like this. Rotate them in 180 degrees. Make sure you get that cleared there. And you'll see these tabs from the hood that will go into the back of the car. And one odd thing to note is that there's actually tabs on these hips, but there's no tabs that they go into. Maybe they forgot to design that in, or they decided they didn't need it. And I don't feel like it's really necessary, but it's kind of odd that they left those in there. Go ahead and close these up. And it doesn't affect anything. It's not like they jut out, but it's just kind of odd that I noticed that they have that. but there's no tabs. And that's it for Boltdash. This is his alt mode. Like I said, you can go ahead and take the cannons and tab them into these rectangular pegs here, rectangular slots. Get some storage there, or again, you can go ahead and take one of these out and peg in the larger cannon if you'd like your weaponry asymmetrical. No storage for the drivers, as far as I can tell. And the backpack, if you want, you can get him super fast by pegging this in, and you can have a very oddly shaped rocket fueled. Well, I guess maybe you can do it backwards too, if you make it look like intakes. Yeah, I guess you can make it look like if he's jealous of Sideswipe's intakes, you can make him look like he has those. In any case, you can get rid of that for now. Articulation-wise here, you really just have the wheels. And at the bottom, you can still see some of his head, but that's why you flip it around backwards. And that's it for Boltdash. Let's get him out into the side. Looking at, what was it? Oh, that was Blazedash, and here's Boltrunner. For him, again, he looks really quite nice, very clean. He actually has some heels, and he has the front of the car toes. That's pretty typical of Sunstreaker, but he doesn't have the windshield chest. That's on his legs, as you can see here. And they are different mold, very different. I don't think they share really any meaningful parts. His articulation, kind of same thing. He does have rotation at the head, on the ball joint. He does have shoulders that go around like that. And again, they don't have any interference issues because of the angles. Those hinges at the shoulders that go into the body actually give you some more range. He also has a bicep swivel and a nice elbow bend. He actually does have wrist swivel. He can go almost 360. If you go this way and go this way, you get pretty close to 360, I guess. He does have an unobstructed waist swivel, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, 90-degree knee bend. And then he actually does have toe tilts, no heel tilts, but then toe articulation here. So tons of articulation for such a small figure again. Same thing with his accessories. They are specific to each hand. So you can give him a left-handed blaster or the right-handed blaster, which I think I'm more accustomed to. They make his arms do look pretty long, but it is what it is. It would have been nice to have some other way to get this a little bit shorter, but again, it is what it is. His blaster comes down and into the peg, as you would expect. And by and large, I like him better, I think. Just overall with the articulation and just the look. I like the yellow classic Lamborghini color. Oh, very quickly, I should point out the head sculpt here. See if I can focus and zoom in. He has a very odd extra face. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like evil zombie kind of banged up or whatever like that. To go ahead and replace that, we'll just do that really quickly. I find the easiest way is to just go ahead and pull forward on the head and pop it off the ball joint, and then you can just peg that back in. The ball joint peg is pretty thick, so I wouldn't have any concerns about you breaking it. But if you want, you can also just do a small Phillips head and undo the two halves. That's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. Again, I think it's pretty sturdy plastic. Iron Factory, I think, does the best plastic quality in terms of Legends class figures. Alright, so let's get into his transformation. His transformation is pretty easy as well. Let's start with the arms. Go ahead and straighten them out. You're going to rotate them at the bicep and then at the hand, and you can see that makes up the side of the car. Same thing here. And you do have to rotate the hands a specific way because the bottom part here does interfere, so you do have to rotate it a specific direction. Leave the head as it is. The backpack, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show that the backpack here pegs in as well. I mentioned it before, but you can go ahead and peg this in to this peg here. This one doesn't look as good. It kind of stands out a bit more or lays in kind of oddly. It would have been nice if they had additional peg holes to actually keep the bottom attached, but again, they kind of bypassed that. So here, go ahead and untab these and straighten this out. You're going to bring this up like this. The chest, you're going to untab at the top. It's on double hinge, straighten that out, flip it around, and fold it flat. You can see it pegs in that way. From here, get the arms back by rotating up at the shoulder, and they'll tab in at the hips here. From here, you can go ahead and fold at this second hinge to get the rear of the car around. Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to. I forgot. I messed up. So you got to do that first. I forgot. The reason why is because there's actually small tabs up here. All right. And the feet, you just go ahead and fold up the heels and the toes. Peg the two halves together. And you basically just kind of push in on these hinged knees. So the way the knees work are they're connected at the back. You just kind of give a shove. Kind of up and in. You can see that they collapse inwards. And there's two tabs here. And that's it. His weapons don't really store anywhere as far as I can tell except the blaster, which you can store at the top. And again, if you want to do some kind of ridiculous jetpack mode or reverse jetpack mode, you can do that. And here we are with both figures in their alt modes. And you can see they're twins. They're still twins. They're just not pure Lambos. They definitely do take some design cues from Lamborghini, but like the area back here is very Lamborghini-ish. Even the spoiler is somewhat angled like a Countach. The windshield, that's pretty similar. So they obviously did some design cues, but not a pure Countach. As far as paint goes, you can see they have some pink highlights, gray highlights all over, headlights and so forth. As with Sideswipe, he does have moving wheels, and they roll just fine. And that's really it. There's not much to talk about. I like the details. Pretty clean modes. You gotta make sure that the gaps are kind of closed up. They don't. I wish they kind of tabbed in here. That might have been a little bit nice, but not really a major complaint for me, especially in a figure this size. All right. Let's get these guys transformed back and we'll end the review. So first thing with this is we just kind of untab here and then pull out on the legs. You can actually pull out too far because there's no real stopper here or tabs keeping the legs out. You just want to make sure that the black pieces are perpendicular with the legs here. So they should be flat this way. You can go ahead and split the legs, get the toe forward, the heel back on both of these. Sorry if I'm a little shaky or out of focus. Pull the arms down by untabbing them from the hips and up here. Come on. There we go. Untab the intakes. Quick note, they actually do have holes for the intakes here. I thought that was a nice small detail. Bring that back. Bring up the chest, rotate it around, and then from here, you're going to want to fold it down this way. The chest will fold up. Backpack goes down, and these two tabs go in. Like thus. Rotate, 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 and rotate. And there you have Boltrunner back in his robot mode. Yeah, just make sure that you get the knees correct, or else he's going to stand like one-legged. He's going to have to go by the name Irene or something like Eileen. That was a bad joke. Alright, so going with Sideswipe or their Blazedash, go ahead and start at the bottom, open the shins up, like so. Kind of untab this section here. I think it's better just to go ahead and get this up and out of the way for now. Bring the legs down. These are kind of hard to get out. I find the toes are easiest if you just give a little nudge on the outside ridge here, the C-clip, and then go ahead and fold that down. Like that. Close the legs up and tab them. Split them, rotate at the waist. From here, untab the shoulders up here. Bring the hood down. You're going to bring it down like so. And then you're going to collapse this double hinge. So you're going to go backwards on that hinge that way. Close this up. There we go. Get the head rotated around. And the fist flipped down. And that's it for their Sideswipe. So here you have the Lambros back in their robot mode. So, final thoughts. I really like these guys. The twins are always kind of fan favorites. And I think these guys did a good job capturing their look without being overly G1-ish. The biggest complaint for me is the fact that they didn't give a second backpack, which I guess is a minor complaint, right? I do prefer, I think, Sunstreaker. I think he's just a little bit cooler in terms of overall design. And he does have slightly better articulation. I don't understand this face on him. His weird zombie-ish face. But by and large, I think they did a pretty good job on both these guys. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I ask if any of you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below as always. If you like the review, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And as always, if you guys want to pick these guys up, please support Toy Dojo, my sponsor, by clicking the link in the description below. They should have these guys pretty soon, and I know they have the cone heads in stock now as well. Alright? That's all for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one.